Hey, what's up everybody? It's Mountain Mike again. Another episode. Thanks for joining me on the mountain. Today we're going to do the sawmill assembly that I talked about in my last video. The Norwood sawmill. I do want to say that they did not pay me to do this. Here it is all laid out. And so first thing I want to talk about is I got an LM29V2, the lumber mate. So when I ordered it, I ordered an LM30. That's what was advertised on their website. And so they say it's the same sawmill. It's just evidently the old stock, and they sent me old stock without telling me that's what it was going to be. They didn't inform me anything about it. It's caused quite a bit of confusion to me. I mean, if you look on YouTube and you watch the LM29V2 video, it says it only cuts a 29-inch diameter log, but all their other information, they themselves say it cuts a 30-inch diameter log. So there's a bit of confusion about it. The LM30 cuts a 30-inch diameter log. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to take their word for it. I'm a little frustrated about it. They're hard to get a hold of right now. You know, evidently with COVID and just sales are booming. I had to wait quite a while to get my sawmill. I mean, I hope it's worth it. It looks like their products are nice. We'll see. So today we want to start the assembly, and I need to open up all the boxes, get parts out of boxes, and hopefully everything's here. You know, I haven't been able to do anything assembly wise as far as time. I've been waiting on it, and I've only had all the parts for a couple weeks now, so I'm just now having the opportunity to start the assembly. So the first thing I want to talk about is the condition of the boxes when they came in. As you can see, most of these end damaged. That one looks like a pallet fork was drove through it. I don't know. I mean, just the stuff wasn't taped up well. There again, this one, I don't know if everything's in there. I sure hope so. I mean, it looks to me like anything could have escaped real easy like. I mean, if you look at the bottom of these boxes, they're damaged. Parts could have come out. This was the one, the box 6 was the one I'd been waiting for a long time, and it came. It was better taped up this time than the rest of the boxes, but as you can see, hopefully nothing got free. Same with this one. You can see parts sticking out right there. I don't know, it's just me. You spend this much money on a product made in the USA. I understand COVID. I understand what it's done to the world, but I don't know. I'm disappointed in that. I hope we can get beyond it. You know, it's not the end of the world, damaged boxes. As long as the product inside is fine, we'll be good. So we're gonna start the assembly process, and we'll see what condition the parts are in and if they're all there. So this box that I showed you earlier, that's damaged. is 1A, open first. This is something else we'll talk about. So you open this one first, and what you see inside. Well, they do give you a hat. Looks like a nice hat. I appreciate that, Norwood. Thank you. And you got your instructions. Obviously, I've been in these. I've already opened them up. Look like nice instructions. Should be fairly easy to follow. But people, if you think you're going to buy a sawmill and it's going to be easy cheesy, we'll see. Alright, let's see what else we got. Got some belts, drive belts I believe, and then you got bags of various parts. Looks like we found the culprit for the hole in the side there. Doesn't appear to be damaged, just rusty. Everything looks good shape here. Still well packaged. Alright, so we're looking through the instruction manual and see here that there's box contents, and it looks very well laid out. So when we start opening these boxes and going through them, we should be able to identify all the parts very easily. And then there's a fastener guide, and it shows you all the fasteners that's going to be used. So that is going to help the installation go quite more smoothly, I expect. Now the way they have this laid out, the first number refers to the box or bag number, the second number in parentheses refers to the item number, for example, like this. I don't know if that's necessarily easier, but now we're going to start the assembly, and it's bed, cross bunk, and trailer assembly. I didn't buy the trailer. Alright, so we're ready to start the assembly. Looks fairly well laid out in the book, in the instruction manual. Looks pretty simple to read. I feel confident that there'll be many hiccups along the way. So we'll get started on this project and see how she goes. Okay, also in the general assembly and installation instructions, there's tools required, and you need some Allen wrenches, sockets, ratchet, wrenches, drill, adjustable wrench, Phillips screwdriver, a fine file tool, grease gun. Impact would be great. I wish I had one, not today. And then we need some oil and stuff for the engine and tracks, track sweeps. Put together our first cross bunk, and we have the first two boxes opened. I've done the count in the boxes, and everything looks good other than the big huge bag of nuts and bolts, and I'm not going to count all those out, so hopefully they're all there, and it looks like that and like that, and we're going to put some together. Alright, so we gotta bolt this corner bracket to this cross beam here. Anybody says it's not hot in August in Oklahoma, they're lying. Alright, so we got the first cross bunk assembled, and we're going to go ahead and lay out the rest and assemble those real quick. Further examination, it says I have these on backwards, so. Alright, just a few more to go. All 5 cross bunks assembled. Alright, so we have our bed rails and our bed retainer rails laid out next to our cross bunks, and as you can see, we're all laid out. So we added the 4-foot extension. We have the bed rails, the retainer rails, and the cross bunk there, and nuts and bolts and 2 adjustable feet. The short pieces came off of the original kit. And if you do order the bed extension, it's not clear, now would be the time to go ahead and add that in. Now I do want to add that the 4-foot bed extension was packaged much more nicely than anything else that I have received thus far, and there was you know, bubble wrap and protection in there, and it was well taped. If they had all been that way, I probably would be much happier, but most of the damaged boxes being what you see laid out before you, all the parts were fine. So there's that to be said too. Now you may be wondering, I'm in my shop here, and how are you going to get that out of there if you assemble it? Well, I'm not assembling it totally. I'm not doing this as a permanent thing in here. I'm just trying to stay out of this hot August sun, and I'm burning up inside the shop with a little bit of wind, very little. So, you know, today it's a very hot day. I've got me a good spot out here picked out, and I've cleaned it up considerably. I'm ready to go ahead and put the mill out there. I need to go ahead and get some measurements and everything. I wanted to go ahead and lay the bed out before we got to the outside activity. So this is what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and try to just pre-assemble some of this into movable sections, and then I'll have my foot spacing that I'm going to go ahead and set some foundation up for this mill. That way we can get her all nice, true, and square when we put her on the ground. Bed rails are on. Now we have the bed retaining rails, which are the small rails here, and they'll be next to go on it. I did get the optional Honda motor. I don't know if we can see that Honda in there. It's a GX390 13 horse Honda. Ought to be nice. So we got the bed retainer rails on, and everything's starting to true up, look good. Looks like something now. Let's see. Take a look at her. Mighty fine, mighty fine. Okay, the next step is to install the end stops. Let's try that.
It looks to me like you just loosen these two bolts here. And slip it right on there. One end stop installed.
Now we'll go down there and do the other end and see what's next. Alright, so for the next step, the leveling and tightening of the bed, which, you know, like I said, we're going to prepare an outdoor location. It'll be about as mocked up as I want to do. I can go ahead with the carriage assembly, but that's a weighty, heavy part. I'm probably going to go ahead and wait to do that. I want to go ahead and get my bed in the location that I want it. And I may go ahead and assemble the carriage in the shop. I believe I'll be able to pick it up and transport it with the tractor. So you know, that's my idea for right now. We'll see how that goes. The directions are pretty good, but they're a little bit lacking still yet. For somebody unfamiliar with doing this process or having not done it much, which I'm assuming not a lot of people assemble multiple sawmills, but it does happen. I mean, maybe practice makes perfect, but Norwood, you know, they did a good job. Color pictures might help a little bit. Black and white photos are, you know, it's hard to catch the detail. Yeah, so far so good. I'm liking it. It's going well. It's going smoothly. The only complaint I really have right now is the nuts and bolts are, some of them are a little catchy. It's like they're just not very good quality. They should go together real smoothly, and they don't. And that's my only complaint. It ought to finger tighten a lot easier than the quality of bolts that are given, but everything else seems pretty good quality. Main thing I wanted to get done today, it didn't take long. We got her pretty well whipped out now. The rest of it's going to get a little more complicated with the carriage assembly. I'm going to disassemble this in a few parts where I can carry it out and get to work on leveling a spot. I think possibly going to use some railroad ties. Haven't quite decided how I'm going to level this out. And you know, out here on the mountain where there's nothing but rocks and trees and slope, it's hard to get a level spot. It's not the most ideal spot. I wish I had a dozer come out here and really flatten me out something, but you know, it's just hard getting anybody lined up out here. So I think tomorrow we'll be working on going ahead and getting a bed foundation ready for this thing, and it put in place, and we can go ahead and level it out, tighten it up, and do what we need to do. Then we can do the carriage assembly, and we'll have a sawmill. So thanks for joining me, appreciate it. Come back and see what's going on the mountain. I'm Mountain Mike. We'll see you next time.